there will be days I come into the office and I know I have a shit ton of stuff to do. What happens is that I don't know what to focus on. We talked about that before, but I get confused or not confused. I get overwhelmed with what do I need to focus on? What is my priority right now? And I think the lack of taking the time and setting the priorities is what has killed my growth the most. And when that happens, it's like I slip into complacency. Probably it was 2 years ago where I kind of took my foot off the gas with marketing and sales because we had a bunch of stuff going on, and only for that to bite me in the ass 12 months later.
Yeah.
I feel like it's cliche to say, but it's that always be selling mentality, but it's real. And if you want to build a business that you want to scale and grow and continue to be successful, you always have to be like selling, but it can go back to that day one mentality. It's like you always have to be curious, right? You have to have this urgency, even when things are good and feel successful. You still need to work the urgency. And for me, I always work better off a list. Like if I can jot down a list of things I need to do, if that's sitting next to me, I find it to be really helpful and I get more done. That's something that I've kind of always dipped in and out of. And now I actually created a prompt in ChatGPT where it's like basically my daily accountability check. And every day I just highlight, here are the things I need to get done today. And throughout the day, it's just, I go in and I make sure I'm checking in to make sure that stuff gets done. And at the end of the day, it's essentially prompting saying, what did you get this done? If not, why? All right, do we need to push this off to the next day? But having that constant accountability, I started that 2 weeks ago. The first week I did it, it was my most productive week in a very, very long time. Friday, I was like, holy crap, like I got everything I needed done because something was holding me accountable to it.
And I think you said it in the extended version, the curiosity aspect to me is huge. And I think that really is the driver for a lot of what I do. And I think that once I get to a point where I'm not curious about something, where I don't have that sense of wonder, I'm somewhat checked out. And to me, that's the essence of life, understanding that you still need to know more. That you still are curious, you still want to learn more, you want to be engaged. And to me, that's huge with regard to this list and with regard to what we're saying, because once the curiosity is gone, you're checked out. Like it's time to move on. And if you lose that curiosity with your business, if you lose that curiosity with what you're doing in life, that it's time to find something else that drives that curiosity for you. So the second item, obsess over customers, not competitors. So obviously, if you're focusing on your competition, chasing what others are doing, comparing yourself, it's going to be a dead end road, probably going to lead to underpricing, bad positioning. This can be applied to personal life as well. But for me, as soon as I begin to worry or put too much weight or consideration on other people's businesses, their products, their services, their brandings, their pricing, I begin to lose confidence in my own self and my own approach. When I understand who I am, what I do, who my client is, why they're hiring me, I don't want to say that I don't care or I don't have competition, but I create this business model that's more so focused on my needs and my clients' needs, and that just strengthens everything that I'm doing. It strengthens my brand, it strengthens my confidence within myself. So much of pricing objection and how that hinders your confidence. And if you are confident in what you're doing and how you're pricing jobs and how you're going through jobs, you almost just don't care. You don't care that it's more money. You don't care that somebody thinks you're expensive. And it's because you're confident in the value that you're providing. Focusing on myself and what I'm doing helps establish and create that confidence for my business, which is, it's really important to me. And that winds up creating I'm way more successful when I have that type of confidence.
We talk about it internally here we're constantly considering, what does the competition have over us? What are they doing that we're not? What are they doing that we should? And I mean, this is spot on where Bezos kind of goes on to talk about how the customer is the center of everything and you should be striving to understand their needs and their expectations. And that's through actively seeking feedback iterating based on that input from the customer and prioritizing their long-term satisfaction. When you do that, you are reverse engineering the like what your competition is doing better than you. And ideally, you will continue to build a better, hopefully better than them. Naturally, we look at our competitors as they have figured something out that we haven't. Let's pay attention to what they're doing so we can do it. Where it's like, yeah, but if you keep going far enough back, all the person that's in the number one spot is doing is listening to their customer and understanding what they need and doing it.
This can be considered from an athletic perspective. If you're preparing yourself for an actual competition, I believe that it just creates a very one-sided model. To me, I would rather play to my strengths. I think that that's going to create a model, an approach, if it's athletically a game plan that is very robust, it's very dynamic. I think when you begin to focus on what one person's doing or what your competition's doing, you're not focused on building this robust, sustainable business, this robust, sustainable game plan. You're just focusing on beating one person. And
Yeah.
that's not a viable path forward. Play to your strong suit, play to what you do well, work on creating a really dynamic business and focus less on what this person's doing or that one thing that this person's doing that you should be doing better.
At the end of the day, like, you're servicing your customer. Like, that's that is who is going to give you the real feedback. And I think even for me, through the feedback that we get, we typically will get feedback and defend it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, I know you didn't like the way we did that, but the reason we did it is because XYZ. It's like, dude, they're literally giving you the cheat code. It's like, I didn't like the way you communicated. I wish you communicated this way. It's like, listen to that.
Yeah.
If they're saying it and then the next guy is saying it, it's like, you got to listen. And trust me, I go against the grain a lot. I do things solely based on what I want to do or what I think makes sense. Every job is an opportunity to learn from. And how do we take that information, learn from it? How do we adapt our process? How do we adapt what we're building, focusing on what's going to make the business successful? And sometimes that's, hey, Nick, like you did all these extra things in the build. I didn't give a shit about it.
Yep.
I'm not saying that you don't do those things. Like, oh, listen, I don't care if you do exterior insulation. Like, that's not important to me. Okay, well, that doesn't mean you don't do it, but you have to understand that you can't, that can't be something that you're pushing onto a client if they truly don't value it. Or maybe you need to remove that from the conversation and say, hey, the wall assembly is the wall assembly. That's just our product. And it's not a discussion point. Again, like taking the feedback from your client and using that for everything, the growth.